Three-digit subtraction with the algorithm. Your goal today is I can subtract three-digit numbers by using the algorithm, and I'll know I'm successful when I can regroup when there is more on the floor and just subtract when there is more on top. So today we are going to practice the algorithm with three-digit numbers. And so to start off, I'm going to do the problem 472 minus 116. And so with this problem, just like we did last week, we need to look at the ones place. So that's why I have a star on top of my ones. That's my little hint to myself that I have to start with the ones place. So I have to ask myself another question. Do I have more on the top or more on the floor? So when I'm saying that, I'm looking at the ones place and I'm looking at the 2, which is on top, and I'm looking at the floor, which is the 6. Okay, is there more on top or more on the floor? Well, 2 is less than 6, so there's more on the floor. So I have to go next door and get some more. And by doing that, I need to go next door to my 10s and take a 10 away from the 70. So now there's 60 or a 6. And now one of my 10s can be given to the 2, which will make a 12. So now I have 12 minus 6. And 12 minus 6 is what? It is 6. And so now I have, for the tens place, I have 6 minus 1. So is there more on the top or more on the floor? There's more on top, so there's no need to stop. Okay, I could do 6 minus 1, and that's 5. And then I could do 4 minus 1, and that is 3. So I have 356. So let's try another one. This will be our next problem, 533 minus 245. So let's make sure our ones are all nice and lined up with each other, our tens are lined up, and our hundreds. That way I'm not subtracting the wrong number from each other. That would not be a good thing if I subtracted my hundreds from 533 to like the tens place in 245. I need to make sure the hundreds are subtracted with each other, the tens are subtracted with each other, and the ones are subtracted with each other, or else my answer is not going to be accurate. So let's remember to start with our ones place, okay? And that's what we'll start subtracting. And I have to ask myself, is there more on top or more on the floor? Is 3 more than 5? There's more on the floor, so I gotta go next door and get some more. I'm going to take a 10 away from the 30 and give it to the 3 to make a 13. And I now have 20 left, or a 2, because I had to give that 10 to the ones place. So now I have 13 minus 5, and 13 minus 5 would give me 8. And then I have to ask myself another question now that I'm over at the tens place. Do I have more on top or more on the floor? And on top, that is a 2 on top. So I have more on the floor again. So I have to go next door and get some more. And now I have to give 1 to the 2 to make a 12. And now my 5 turns into a 4. So just looking at the tens place, I have 12 minus 4, and that is also 8. And then I have 4 minus 2, which, yes, I can do that because there's more on top, so there's no need to stop. And that 4 minus 2 is 2. So that gives me 288. So we're going to do one more, and this is the time where your teacher, after I give the problem, would like to pause the video. That would be great. And then you guys can try this together as a class, or if you're at home, you can pause the video after the whole problem is on the screen right there, and you can try it yourself. And if you need help, you can always rewind and watch how we did our regrouping in the previous problems, and that will help you with this one. So this is a great time to pause it right now. All right, let's try this problem. I'm going to start with my ones place because this is 764 minus 389, and I always start subtracting with my ones place. Okay, I'm going to ask myself, what famous question? Is there more on top or more on the floor? There's more on the floor, so I have to go next door and get some more. And I'm going to take a 10 away from that 6 and give it to 4 to make it 14. And now that I took away a 10 from 6, I now have 5. 6 minus 1 is 5. And now I can do subtract by ones place. So what's 14 minus 9? I should have gotten 5. And I'm going to ask myself again now that I'm over in the tens place. Is there more on top or more on the floor? Well, 8 is higher than 5, so there's more on the floor, so I gotta go next door and get some more. And going next door, I have to cross off my 7 from my hundreds place, give 1 to my 5 to make it a 15. And now I took 1 away from 7, that turns into a 6. So then I have 15 minus 8, which yes, I can do. And that would be 7. And is there more on top or more on the floor? There's more on top, so there's no need to stop. And I have 6 minus 3, and that is 3. So you should have gotten 375. Just please make sure when you are regrouping that you are asking yourself, is there more on top or more on the floor? Because if there's more on the floor, you always have to do that extra step. Go next door and get some more, because we cannot take away a small number minus a big number, okay? 4 minus 9 does not work, but 14 minus 9 works. So please make sure big number first, small number last, and no, you cannot switch it around. So please do not do 9 minus 4 because that wasn't our problem. 4 was first, so it needs to stay first. So remember, your goal today is I can subtract 3-digit numbers by using the algorithm, and I'll know I'm successful when I can regroup when there is more on the floor and just subtract when there is more on top.